Welcome to another video with us at Western STEM Academy. Today we're looking at the cool crew, elements 1 to 20, and atomic structure. The last time we looked at chemistry, we looked at part 1, introduction to chemistry, and we had so many persons reaching out for a part 2. So this is part 2 as we delve deeper into the chemistry syllabus, where we're going to be looking at all things chemistry related. So I want you to think about the first 20 elements of the periodic table. How many elements can you recap off the top of your head without looking? How many elements? Let's see. How many? I want you to go ahead and jot down all the elements that you can come up with from 1 to 20 below and tell us how many did you get right. All right, so get ready for atomic awesomeness. We're going to be exploring the first 20 elements and the structure. We want you to go ahead and we want you to subscribe to the channel if you've not yet done so. Like this video and share it with someone else, especially someone who has an amazing interest in chemistry. We know chemistry is all around us. We know persons are studying chemistry at this time, especially if you intend to go into the medical field. Whether it's pharmacology, chemistry is important in our everyday life. Chemistry is important for a lot of our STEM careers, and it's so important for us to have a basic understanding of chemistry, of the elements, and that's where we're going to go deeper. So tell us, how many elements were you able to get correctly? List them below and tell us how many do you know. Are you ready? No, what's the deal with atoms? Atoms are the building blocks. Everything is made of atoms. The key parts of an atom, we have protons, which are positive, neutrons, which are neutral, and electrons are negative. So I remember in high school, my teacher, if you're watching this, she would have us chant, protons have a positive charge. And we kind of just remember that. So protons, they have a positive charge. Neutrons, they're neutral, meaning no charge. And electrons, they'll have a negative charge, right? So protons, positive, neutrons, neutral, electrons, they are going to be negative, right? So atoms, they are the building blocks, and these are the three subatomic particles. We have our protons, we have our neutrons, and we have our electrons. So every atom will be made up of subatomic particles, and it's really important for us to understand these subatomic particles and how many of these particles an atom will have. So there we have a photo of what it will look like, where you will have in the nucleus, you will have in the nucleus, the protons and the neutrons will be there. And then around the nucleus, you'll have shells. And on these shells, you will have electrons. Now, you might be wondering, what's the size of an atom? Can you see an atom with your naked eye? Actually, if atoms were blueberries, humans would be Earth size. That's literally how small an atom is. So an atom is too small for you to see with the naked eye, right? Now, the first element, can you guess? Can you guess what's the first element of the periodic table? So you'll find all your elements in the periodic table. There are over 103 elements. It's good to study all of them, but at this moment, you really need to just know the first 20. So element 1, what's the first element? Go ahead and type it below. That's correct. The first element is hydrogen. So just to go through quickly, we have hydrogen, helium, lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, neon, sodium, magnesium, aluminum, silicon, phosphorus, sulfur, chlorine, argon, potassium, calcium. By the end of this lesson, I need you to know all 20, but we're going to take it slow down, slow down. And the first element is hydrogen. The atomic number literally is how it comes in the order. So if it's the first element, the atomic number is literally 1. If it's the second element, the atomic number is 2, and it goes on like that. The symbol for hydrogen is going to be H, just H. And fun fact about hydrogen, it's the smallest element. And it's made up 75% of the universe is literally hydrogen, right? If you think about water when you were learning the molecular formula of water, a lot of us like to spin around and say H2O, H2O, H2O. That's hydrogen. So two molecules of hydrogen, one molecule of oxygen. So H2O, hydrogen, hydrogen is a part of that water molecule. Hydrogen is all around us. All right. Now, let's go. What's the second one? Very good. If you guess helium, you are correct. So we have helium, lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, neon. So helium is going to be the second, lithium third, beryllium fourth, boron fifth, carbon sixth, nitrogen seventh, oxygen eighth, fluorine ninth, neon 10th. All right, so we have 2 all the way to 10. And this is just a snippet of the periodic table. If you look, you can see a few of them. All right, so let's keep going. Elements 11 to 20. So now you know elements 2 to 10. You should study that. Helium, lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, neon. Look at the symbols, get familiar with it. Helium is He, lithium is Li, beryllium is Be, boron is just B, carbon is C, nitrogen is N, oxygen is O, fluorine is F. A lot of people get this one incorrect. Neon is Ne. 11 to 20. Sodium, please pay attention, is Na. Sodium, Na. Magnesium, Mg. Aluminum, Al. Silicon, Si. Phosphorus, just the P for the symbol. All right. So let's do that again. Sodium, magnesium, aluminum, silicon, phosphor, sulfur. Sulfur is going to be S, chlorine, Cl, argon, Ar, and potassium. A lot of persons need little help with this one. Potassium, the symbol is K. Calcium, the symbols is Ca. So sodium is the 11th, magnesium 12, aluminum 13, silicon 14, phosphorus 15, sulfur 16, chlorine 17, argon 18, potassium 19, and calcium 20. So just like that, you have the first 20 elements of the periodic table. There is hydrogen, helium, lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, neon, sodium, magnesium, aluminum, silicon, phosphor, sulfur, chlorine, argon, potassium, calcium. Get familiar with the symbols. All right, so now that you know the first 20 elements of the periodic table, feel free to go over it as many times as possible. We're going to just do a quick atomic structure recap. The nucleus is going to be the middle. The nucleus is in the middle. And the protons and the neutrons, they chill in the nucleus, okay? The electrons, they are around the nucleus on what we call shells. And the shells are specific spots for the electrons. Very important information. Now, I want you to go ahead and comment any questions that you might have as we recap the first 20 elements of the periodic table. They're going to be hydrogen, helium, lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, neon, sodium, magnesium, aluminum, silicon, phosphor, sulfur, chlorine, argon, potassium, calcium. All right, now we're going to look at electronic configuration. Now, typically elements, the shells, electrons, they orbit. Electrons are on shells that orbit the nucleus. Hydrogen will have 1 electron in its first shell because it's only made up of it only has 1 electron. So what I want you to understand before you go forward is to understand how many protons, how many electrons, and how many neutrons each element from 1 to 20 will have. Now, the atomic number is going to be very important. When we're looking at the atomic number of an element, because it's an atom means it's neutral. Neutral means that it has the same amount of positive and negative. So the atomic number will tell us the number of protons that the element will have, and it will also tell us the number of electrons once it is an atom. An atom means that it will have the same number of protons, the same number of electrons. So hydrogen, for example, has an atomic number of 1. It's the first element. Therefore, how many protons will hydrogen have? All right, very good. It will have 1 proton. And how many electrons will hydrogen have? Good job. It will have 1 electron, right? So 1 electron is going to be in the first shell of hydrogen. So you're going to see that 1 electron on that first shell. So electrons, they exist on shells. The shells have a maximum number of electrons that each can hold. The first shell can hold a maximum of 2 electrons. So it can hold up to 2. The second one can hold up to 8. The third one, at this level, we put 8, and the fourth shell, we put the remainder on it. I say this because it gets a little different as you go towards your A levels, as you go towards your college level. But for now, just know that the first shell, we're putting a maximum of 2, second shell, a maximum of 8. At this level, we're only putting 8 on the third shell, and the fourth shell, we're putting 2. So hydrogen will have 1 electron in the first shell, right? Oxygen has an atomic number of, tell me, what's the atomic number of oxygen? All right, good job. 8. So the atomic number is 8. Therefore, the first shell will have 2 electrons, maximum of 2, and we have 6 more remaining that we will put in the second shell, right? So therefore, oxygen will have 2 shells, first shell having 2, second shell having 6. Now, calcium, on the other hand, it has an atomic number of what? Very good, 20. So it has an atomic number of 20, which means that it will have 20 protons, it will have 20 electrons, right? I'll show you how to do the nucleus calculation in another video, but calcium has 20 electrons. The first shell, we're gonna put a maximum of 2. Second shell, we put a maximum of 8, which means that we have 10 more. On the third shell, we're gonna put 8. And on the fourth shell, we will have a remainder of 2. All right. It's important to know that that outer shell, or that last shell, it tells us a lot about the element. And the number of shells that it has also tells us a lot about the element. There's something called rows that we have, our periodic table. Let me show you an image. It's arranged in rows and columns, right? So it has vertical columns, horizontal rows. Those vertical columns that we're seeing are called groups, and those horizontal rows are called periods. Now let's go back. The number of electrons on the outer shell will tell us which group the element is in, and the number of shells that the atom has will tell us the period that it is in. So let's try with oxygen and calcium. Oxygen has, let's not do oxygen, we're gonna do calcium. We'll talk about that later. Let's do calcium. Calcium has how many shells? How many shells do we have in calcium? We have 2 electrons in the first shell, 8 in the second shell, 8 in the third shell, and 2 in the fourth shell. So there are 4 shells, 4 of them orbiting. Therefore, what does that say about calcium? What does that say about calcium? All right, you're onto something great. Now, how many electrons does calcium have on its outer shell? How many electrons calcium has on the outer, the last shell? Very good. The outer shell has 2 electrons. Therefore, calcium is going to be in group 2. So we'll go into groups and periods in our next lesson. This is just really a preview. The main thing that you are to get from this is the names of the first 20 elements of the periodic table. There is hydrogen, helium, lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine, neon, sodium, magnesium, aluminum, silicon, phosphorus, sulfur, chlorine, argon, potassium, calcium. I want you to go ahead and list all 20 below. And let me see if you've gotten them correct. Until next time, I'm Felisa Ricketts from Western STEM Academy. It's been a pleasure doing this video with you. I want you to go ahead and subscribe if you have not yet done so. Share this video with a friend. Ensure you comment the answers below because you could be the winner of this week's edition of Learn with us at Western STEM Academy. We can't wait to have you. Thank you for tuning in. See you soon and tell us which other topics do you want us to go through. Is there any topic that you're currently doing that you're having challenges with? Let us know. Remember to subscribe to our channel. Remember, we're also on Instagram at Western STEM _ Academy. Feel free to send us a WhatsApp message at 876-886-3859. We're a full-time school for students from 3 to 18 years old. We are still enrolling students in our kinder section. We have a kinder class for students 3 to 5 years old. We have our Pep Stars class for students in grades 4 to 6. We have our STEM Beginner Stars class, and we have High Achievers class. So basically, we have a kinder section, a prep school section, and a high school section where we enroll students in our full-time online school, helping students to excel. We make learning fun, engaging, so that your child learns and does extremely well, right? We're all about, using STEM to teach, and we're all about incorporating STEM and financial literacy in our curriculum. We're incorporating subjects such as Spanish, and we're preparing students for life with our career counseling sessions. So your child learns well when you enroll them at Western STEM Academy. So do not hesitate. If you're looking for a school for your child, Western STEM Academy is the school for you. We have full-time day school, and we also have extra classes, and our students have been doing exceptionally well. So do not hesitate, contact us and let us work with you. Our WhatsApp number is 876-886-3859. Find us at Western STEM _ Academy on Instagram, on TikTok. We're also on Facebook and LinkedIn, and we can't wait to serve you. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a wonderful rest of the day.